You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. A lot of news and rumors surround this football team with NFL free agency around the corner and the draft soon to follow that. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, what do I think? So let's get into a mailbag where we answer your questions. My guy, Pokemore, one of the realest ones in the city, says, what are your thoughts on trading down to like 10 to 16 for JJ, Bo Nix, or MPJ? Also, what do you think it would cost for a team to move up? Could we get a first next year? The only way I'm going to trade down, Pokemore, is if I am netting a first-round pick for next year. And I haven't really loved the idea of trading down, but let's say the Giants have come to the conclusion that they are not drafting a quarterback at 6, and they are not trading up for a quarterback. Trading down and netting a first-round pick next year would give you, obviously, 2 first-round picks next year, but a better chance to then trade up in the 2025 NFL draft to maybe go get a quarterback of your liking. So maybe you kind of punt on the QB conversation till next year, pick up some more draft capital for that, and then have a lot of ammunition in your back pockets to move up for a quarterback that maybe you fall in love with there. My thoughts on doing that, I don't hate it. But I just think you take the best player available at number 6. If it's Jaden Daniels, cool. If it's Drake May, cool. If it's Rome Odunze, if it's Malik Neighbors, if it's Joe Wall, whoever it is, I don't care. I think you just take the best player available, but I would completely understand why the New York Giants would trade down. I also kind of just am in the camp that the Giants should trade up and go get their QB right now. Let's go Giants, coming in with a $10 super chat. If we cut Darren Waller, do we take Brock Bowers? If you think Brock Bowers is good enough to be picked at 6, it should not matter what you are doing with Darren Waller. You draft players in the first round for the next 4 to 5 years. Darren Waller may not be on your team next year. You don't let a 32, 33, however old Darren Waller is, you don't let a player in your 30s determine how you want to draft to fill needs and add talent for the next 5 years. I hope that makes sense with what I'm trying to say. Just because you have Waller now doesn't mean that you shouldn't take Bowers if you have him slated as one of the top prospects in this draft. You draft for the future. You don't just draft for now. And Darren Waller, he's on the team now. He's not going to be a part of the plans in the future. We've also heard that he may be cut. These are his contract details if he is. $14 million cap hit if he stays on the team. You save 6.7 if he's not. And you have a dead cap hit of 7.3. The Bronx boy. What up, man? Jaden Daniels having a higher big-time throw percentage and a higher completion percentage out of scrambles than Caleb Williams and Drake May, plus the Heisman, plus rushing for running back type of numbers, plus 40 TDs and 4 interceptions, plus, no, you didn't say it again. How is JD the third QB prospect coming out? I have heard on about half the boards in the NFL, he is number 2. I've even heard some teams have him as number 1, the Bronx boy. You make good points, man. You make good points. Wonder where you got all those numbers from. Look, Jaden Daniels is extremely talented. I know that, and if you watch this channel, you know that. And I've said it a couple of times. If I'm going to give Brian Dable a quarterback to work with, I want him to be handed the guy that is uber talented and has a limitless ceiling. That might be Jaden Daniels. That might just be him. Craig Clifford, $20 super chat. Thank you, Craig. Good to see you in the chat, my man. Always supporting. We have to re-sign Saquon Barkley. He runs the offense. Keep Waller. I agree, man. I think you got to bring back Saquon Barkley. To win football games, you need to have good players. And, let's just call a spade a spade. The Giants don't have a lot of good football players. And Saquon Barkley may be the best offensive player they have at a skilled position. I think Andrew Thomas is better. I don't know what's going to happen with Barkley. It's been really quiet. It's been really, really quiet. I would re-sign him, especially if Daniel Jones is going to be your starting quarterback. If you're going to run Daniel Jones back as your starting quarterback for 1 year and you're honestly trying to give him a true evaluation, you should be surrounding him with as much talent as possible. And that includes re-signing Barkley and keeping Darren Waller. I'm in agreement with you right now, Craig. NYG season. What do you guys think about Tez Walker, solid back end of the second, early third round wide receiver? Not to mention his QB was Drake May. Look into him, underrated. I think Tez Walker is a good football player, and we know that the Giants, they need more players at playmaking positions. For me, though, like if you're going to draft a wide receiver with a priority pick, I want that wide receiver to have wide receiver one upside. Not saying Tez Walker doesn't, but I almost would rather take like Neighbors or a Dunze at 6, or maybe you trade up into the first round. Or I'm a bigger fan of a guy like Xavier Leggett. I also like both the receivers from the University of Texas. Tez Walker's a good player. I probably wouldn't take him, though, until the third round. Good player, underrated, no doubt about it. We're going to get to more questions coming up in a second, but first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up, whether it's tournament time or the fight for playoff home court. There's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Want to play alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players like Meek Mill or Sugar Sean O'Malley? You can now find community plays under the promos tabs of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. Pick more, pick less, play PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. All you do, create a lineup of 6 players, up to 6 players, 2 to 6 players, and choose more or less on their projected stat line. I'll put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Gilly coming in with a $10 super chat. So let's say we get Neighbors at 6. Are you grabbing Penix or Bo in the second, and then maybe a guard later in the second round? I wouldn't hate if the first 3 picks were receiver, quarterback, offensive lineman at all. For me personally, though, I'm not the biggest Bo Nix guy. I started out really high on Michael Penix, but then just kind of the more you watch his film and you get into more of the nitty-gritty, the things he struggles with could be career enders in the NFL. He does not do well under pressure. He does not make plays out of structure. And I think to be a top quarterback at this point in the league, you need to be able to make plays when the plays break down. I think he had a sub 30% completion percentage on scrambles this year. And the thing is, he's an underrated athlete. And you put that on top of all the injury history that he's had throughout his career. I think he throws the ball better than a lot of people in this class. His arm talent is crazy. He's got one of the better deep balls. There's just a couple of red flags that scare me about him. I would like him in the second round. I don't love him. I just would personally rather draft a guy like Spencer Rattler in round 4 than maybe Michael Penix, but I may be wrong on that one. But I'm not going to be mad if you get Neighbors, Penix, and let's say the top guard in those first 3 picks. Upside to life. Would you rather spend in free agency if Saquon is gone, or rather spend draft capital? I want to dip my toe in both pools. Sign maybe a lower level running back in free agency. Maybe a guy like A.J. Dillon or DeAndre Swift or Devin Singletary and Zach Moss. And then you also couple that with the fact that you draft a running back in round 4 or round 5. And then you have like a 3 running back rotation of the rookie you draft, the free agent you signed, and Eric Gray. And you also got Jayshon Corbin, who you guys know I'm a big fan of. I wouldn't spend big, though, in free agency, because if you're going to spend big on a running back, why wouldn't you just do it on Saquon Barkley? That's kind of where I'm at with that. D-Swag, 585X, what up, man? Ayo, Marsh, I need to know, how do you think we will move up for Caleb? I don't. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a member of the Chicago Bears. I don't think they're trading him. But I do think there is a chance that the New York Giants could move up for Jaden Daniels or Drake May. Mike Garafolo said there's like a 76.9% chance. Was he joking? Was he kind of ha-haing? Yeah. But he also almost slipped up in that interview. He said the Giants are one of the teams that are they are gauging the trade-up market value. He wanted to say they are gauging the trade-up value market. He didn't say it. He almost did. Why wouldn't we trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr. if we're stuck with DJ for another year? Because, one, I don't think it'd be a dumb idea to do so. But for me, I don't want to give up a future first-round pick to have to move up for a wide receiver when I can get Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors potentially at number 6, who are maybe a notch or 2 below MHJ. I think he's going to be the best receiver in this class, but keeping a first-round pick, I think I'd rather have a first-round pick in Malik Neighbors than Marvin Harrison Jr. Kind of just a simple answer on that one. Paul Bigelow, what up, Maine? Jordan Travis, thoughts? Day 3, quarterback option, throw a dart, See if it hits. I wouldn't be mad if they draft Jordan Travis, but I wouldn't do it before day 3. I thought he had a good season. I thought he really improved as a thrower this year with Florida State. I'm sick for the guy that he got hurt. I'm sick for Florida State that he did get hurt and it ruined their season, but nothing more than day 3 for me. Would not hate that at all. Make sure you guys are following me over on social media at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter and on Instagram. Let's go Giants.